$38 a month. So there's
what we do know is what tragically occurred following the event. After the clip started exploding, on January 10th, 2025, a clip of a man pulling up to a barista in Tempe, Arizona started going viral on Instagram.
This dude is actually insane, bro. Like, how you gonna pull up to a coffee shop with no pants, dude? What are you really? What are we doing here? I wonder what he even thought he was like trying to accomplish.
And Twitter. In the clip, the man is calmly asked if he's been to this drive-thru before, but what happens next is diabolical.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
You need to leave.
Call 911.
The man's name was Nautica Malone, a 27-year-old who frequented Bikini Bean Coffee, a coffee shop where women dress semi-nude to attract more male customers. If you start to deduce this clip, you can make some assumptions about this interaction. It's obvious Nautica did something like this before, or was trying to be pantless in secret around the shop because the barista already had her phone out before he even pulled up. Now, where he was doing it before...
Which is insane, bro. That's not his first time doing that, bro. He is a regular. This dude was just regularly pulling up, no joggers on, bro. Like, no pants, no nothing, dude. Just dingling swinging, bro. Like, what are we doing here, dude?
Is unknown. Maybe he was just chilling in a parking spot next to the shop, getting his dirty on while he watched the employees from a distance, and they finally caught on. But what we do know is what tragically occurred following the event. After the clip started exploding on social media, it was reported that Malone unalived himself a couple days later, prompting the hashtag Goonacide to start trending on Twitter.
This dude killed himself, dude? There's no way. Why would he kill himself? It's not that deep. It's not even that deep, dude.
But that is not even the worst part of all of this. The worst part is that Nautica Malone was married with a wife and kid. It's never funny when someone takes their own life. Was this guy a creep? Absolutely. But no sane man who has a wife and children would ever think to commit public indecency the way Nautica did that day. And that indicates something more concerning was going on. While there have been instances in the past of men committing similar acts in places like Bikini Bean,
I don't even want to speak on this, bro. Like,
this particular story sheds light on a dangerous level of hypersexuality that is quietly plaguing the minds of men who are hooked on adult content.
You kind of gotta expect these consequences, bro. Like, if you're working at Hooters or you working at a bikini coffee shop, bro, like you kind of asking for like stuff like this to happen, dude. If I'm being real, like, what the heck?
So let's peel back the foreskin on this internet slang, oil up, and thrust our way through the disturbing world of gooning. There's a lot of misconceptions about what gooning means because most people on the internet see it as nothing more than a funny meme. If you're like me before I did research for this video, and I have no idea what wrong turn I made in my career to get to the point where I'm talking about the subject of gooning, you might have heard the word goon and thought to yourself, that's that funny word for pleasuring yourself, right? If you're unk status, you might think I'm referring to a stupid, foolish person or thug. But neither of those definitions fully capture the essence of gooning. Gooning is an activity in which a person repeatedly pleasures themselves right before the point of climax to reach a sexual trance of pure ecstasy. A goonlightenment, if you will. If you're on social media often, you might think this sounds a lot like Gooning's right-hand man, edging. But there's a key distinction between the two. While edging is the act of pleasuring yourself to the point right before you climax, gooning is doing this so many times to the point where you purposefully put yourself in the same state that SpongeBob and Patrick found themselves in when they turned on the orb of confusion.
Take this!
Oh my gosh.
No joke, the term edge maxing might be the best word to describe what gooning is. The term really gained popularity in 2024 thanks to memes on social media as searches for the word gooning.
I gotta edit this out. I really gotta edit this out. Gotta edit this out because I gotta poop so bad, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude. Chat. I do not know what's been going on with my butt, but lately, bro, when I've been pooping, it's just been a horrible experience, bro. Like, it has not been good, bro. Like, my poops have been black lately. I don't know what that means. I looked it up. It says I got gastrointestinal bleeding, which I don't want that. That doesn't sound good at all. I got gastrointestinal bleeding. I'm bleeding from my asshole, dude. Like, what? That's what we're doing here? I just left a Diddy party, dude. Like, dog, what the heck's happening, gang?
Rose 314% that year. But the earliest known online mention of gooning as we know it predates all the way back to 2006, where the first definition was created in Urban Dictionary. Also, I love the example sentence they used here. There I was, stroking for hours, and I was into the goons so deep that a bomb could have gone off next door, and I would not have noticed. How can you talk about this topic seriously when memes and sentences like that are what people think of when you hear the word gooning? But we need to start taking this seriously, because this is where it starts to get really disturbing. The very act of gooning itself calls into question the mental health of the people participating in it. I mean, it literally requires you to spend hours of your day reaching a pre-climax nirvana, causing any of your brain's logical reasoning to temporarily shut off. The real reason I'm making this video will be revealed soon, but first, let's see what the extreme ends of a gooning addiction looks like. That's right, we're headed to r/goon caves. R/goon caves.
Reddit used to be the method, but it's not the method no more, bro. I don't know what they did. They patched like all of the goon Reddits, dude. Like, it's bad now, dog. It ain't nothing anymore, dude.
It was a subreddit full of people taking the sexual obsession of gooning to another level. On the subreddit, users would post pictures of their goon caves, a term used to describe
It's valid though. It's kind of valid though. Not gonna lie. Hold up, he got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monitor setup, dude. Nah, it's crazy. Dog, and look at the vibes. You got the LED lights, bro. We got the water in case you get dehydrated. We got the chapstick in case your lips get chapped, dude. It looks like we got some snacks here. Yeah, I got the PC. Looks like an amazing PC. This is a 10 out of 10 goon cave, bro. This is valid.
Entire room insane, dedicated to gooning. The rooms usually consisted of multiple computer screens, sometimes up to 10 at once, all playing adult content at the same time.
It's amazing.
Goon Simp on 6th hour of shameless pumping. Windows open so neighbors probably heard the goon grunts by now. Love the pervert baiter life.
Okay, now
Ultimate
that's insane.
Collection update, 21 terabytes. Work trip.
What?
Baiter life. Ultimate collection update.
21 terabytes, dude. I've had this PC for like 3 years, and I've not went over like 300 gigabytes of just games and like stuff on Steam and videos and like just downloading like beats and songs, bro. Like, what? How is this even possible? How does your PC have so many drives? My PC doesn't even have that many. How do you have a 5 terabyte drive? This is what I need, dude. Keep running out of storage, dude. I need this dude's goon PC.
Date 21 terabytes. Work trip requires a hotel goon cave. Hello, fellow gooners. First time poster, long time lurker. Had my first goon session in about 5 months last night. Felt better than ever. Up the ante with 7 screens, my most ever, a new bottle of poppers, and a type of adult content I'm not even going to consider reading out loud. Reading through these types of posts might make you chuckle initially, but when you really think about what these people are doing, it makes your stomach queasy. I made the mistake of eating yogurt while writing this section of the script, and that was just a miserable decision. 5 years after its creation, r/Goon Caves was banned from Reddit due to violations of its policies against non-consensual intimate media, but there are several gooning subreddits that still exist to this day. This is just the tip of the iceberg of a growing part of chronically online horny men and women who are at the mercy of adult content, and I promise you, it gets much worse than this. So why am I really talking about this? Just to have a laugh? No. I'm talking about this because it highlights a growing phenomenon within our culture, leading to more and more people spending hours of their day gooning. The constant desire for more stimulating adult content. Dr. K on the Healthy Gamer YouTube channel has a great in-depth video on the science of gooning, but I'm going to paraphrase what I think is the most important part of that video. You see, when you partake in gooning, you are intentionally increasing the intensity of the climax through an abnormal amount of stimulation. We can plot what this looks like on a graph, which has the threshold to climax on the y-axis and the amount of pleasure/stimulation on the x-axis. As you start to pleasure yourself, you are about to reach the normal threshold, but then you stop, aka you edge. If you continuously do this over hours, your threshold for climax starts to increase with it, and chasing that peak leaves you in the delirious state heavy gooners report themselves reaching. While Dr. K says the consequences are still unknown, and while that might be true solely—
I love the zoo, bro. He's actually a goat, dude. I'll be watching this stuff every day, bro. Every day, dude. You don't need no therapist if you got this dude, bro.
For the act of edging a bunch of times in a row, what I think matters more is what it leads people to start searching for. If you are gooning daily and you constantly need more stimulation to reach climax or goon-lightenment, you will inevitably have to keep increasing the amount of stimulation you need to achieve that. In other words, just regular stroking to regular stuff ain't gonna cut it anymore. You're gonna need more. In the same way that a drug addict will have to increase their dose to feel the same effect they did when they first started taking the drug, a hardcore gooner will have to find weirder and nastier fetishes to goon to reach the level of climax that they used to be able to reach from very average adult content. I genuinely believe that this is where most people's very strange sexual fetishes are now stemming from. They are stemming from a society that gives them unlimited free access to any type of adult content that they want. And so comes the real reason I'm making this video, to bring awareness to what is causing serious mental health issues and disturbing addictions amongst not just adults, but now young children too. Hypersexuality. Almost everything within our culture is more promiscuous and sexual now. Literally. Kids are being influenced by all these types of terms and memes more than you think, and with their curious minds are exposing themselves to things they should not have access to until they reach adulthood. I don't think anyone can deny that sexual education is important, and talking to kids openly about what sex is important. But it's important to discuss those things to protect children from the dangers of adult content addiction.
It's so weird just how accessible it is now. Like, it should not be as easy to access now, bro. Like, this is actually a problem, gang. Like, it's actually a problem, dude.
To expose them to it freely. Social media frequently promotes sexual content the most, which creates a feedback loop between algorithms, consumers, and creators. A creator sees that when they post more promiscuous photos, they get more engagement. Posts with more engagement get fed to more people in the algorithm. Thus, more people, specifically young kids, are getting thrown more and more sexual content than ever, while social media creators get rewarded for starting those kids' addictions early. So much of our culture now revolves around taking advantage of our lustful instincts for profit. And the things I've heard and seen from young men on the internet who have shared their stories of addictions haunts me. Took me less than 30 minutes after starting the script to find a comment from a kid who
this ain't even that bad. That's not even that bad, gang.
Says he edges to anime adult content. And this is way more common than you think. This isn't even the bad stuff. So think about a young kid who is already into pleasuring himself to stuff like that at such a young age. If he does it frequently enough, he's eventually going to need to keep increasing the freakiness if he wants to get the same amount of pleasure he once got from anime girls. That is how gooners are created, and that's what we'll keep seeing more of if young kids continue to have unrestricted access to sites like this. But why does it matter, other than the fact that it's an addiction and it takes up so much time, which are both valid reasons on their own? It matters because of the catastrophic mental consequences that come with it. The awful erectile dysfunction when faced with real-life sexual interaction. The amount of pleasure it takes to get enough serotonin and dopamine.
Dude, that's my biggest fear, is that I've gooned so much, bro, that like when the real thing comes, bro, I can't get hard, dude. I fear I can't get hard, gang. I don't want that. I don't want that at all, dude. But I feel like that might be the case, gang. I don't know though, bro. I don't know. It might be.
dopamine to be happy when you're addicted, which makes any other activities that should naturally be pleasurable to you miserable. The increased risk of depression, social anxiety, and isolation, and the risk of becoming someone like Nautica Malone. Exhibitionistic disorder, a mental health condition characterized by recurrent, non-consensual exposure of one's genitals to others, is officially recognized in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I'm sure there's people who develop this disorder from childhood trauma or neglect, but I'm willing to bet that most people who do so because of the influence of online adult content. Nautica Malone is not a victim. What he did was foul, and hell, he might not even fit the definition of a gooner. But from his story, it sounds like he found himself succumbing to lust produced by the internet to the point where it completely rewired his brain and destroyed any sense of rational judgment in regards to his sexual acts. Look at the posts his friends and family created after hearing about his death. My big brother, the funniest guy in any room you walked in, an unforgettable pillar in my life. Literally watched you grow up. I'm beyond lost for words. 15 years you've been my brother. I keep crying because of all the memories we had together. How did a guy so loved by his community with a wife and kids ever get to the point where he would consider doing what he did? This is the end result of adult content addiction. And if you find that you are struggling with this ever-growing trend of edging and gooning, please get professional help. We need to start talking more openly and honestly about how hooked these kids are getting on some really weird shit on the internet. We need tighter restrictions around adult content, and we need to stop promoting and encouraging degeneracy by no longer engaging with those sorts of posts. Otherwise, I'm afraid there's only going to be more and more stories similar to the acts that Nautica Malone committed that day. It was recently revealed a couple days ago that Nautica had left a note for his wife just before he decided he wanted to pass away. And this is what it read. I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake and I don't think I'll be able to face you and the babies. I don't know why I drove through like that.
Dog. This is so sad because it's not like, yes, it's bad, but it's not this deep, dude. Like, it's not like that crazy, gang.
All my family and friends, I love you and I'm so sorry.
Could have been
I
so
love
much
my
worse,
kids
dude.
and family. My mental has been fucked up. I am not a monster. Please forgive me.
Jeez. Rip, dude. Rest in peace.
Whoa, heavy topic by the end there, I know. But I have made videos regarding erectile dysfunction within men, which we need to be more open about, and having these types of adult content addictions.
My screen, freaky frog, dude. What's that? That's a, I don't know, I'm at lost for words, dude. Women love broken guys. That's not the case. Hate to break it to you, that's just not the case, gang. Okay, what is my YouTube trying to like tell me, dude? Like, what is happening right now? Talking about how to get a girl, dude. Hold up, should we watch that?